Yo, 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 we got a special guest caller on the line. Let's see if we can hook this up. State your name.
Check, check, 1, 2. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can.
Hello, what's up? This is
Hi.
Slug from Atmosphere. This is Sean. This is me standing here in this beautiful Minnesota weather. Have you looked outside within the last 10 minutes? It's so beautiful out here. I don't know what's going on because it's supposed to be snowy already.
It's a little moist out there, right?
It's a little moist, but it's warm.
It's gonna snow the next few days. It said chilly, breezy, windy, and cold.
Oh wow. Okay,
Well,
I'll
for so
prepare.
for
I'll pull out the mittens.
so for one thing, today's Idea's birthday. Did you ever like spend any?
Yep.
Did you ever spend any birthdays with Mikey?
Um, we had a birthday that was on the road once a long, long time ago, but I think that was the only one where we were like out and about on his birthday. You know what I'm saying? Like it would be also you would just kind of out, because he was kind of like family, so you would see him and just be like, "Yo, what's good? It's your birthday, and we're kicking it right
Yeah,
now." But
right. So like
but
me and
but
my
one
friends, we spent so many birthdays together, we can't really remember them.
right one time though, I do remember on tour having a birthday, but he wasn't, he wasn't partying because he was kind of young. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure, definitely. It was like 6 cents.
So it was more kind of like, nah, it was idea to, he was out with us. We were on
But
the
for
road, and I mean, really, none of us were partying. It was kind of like just more like a chill thing because it was a there was, you know, but it's funny because I was thinking about him earlier today because obviously it's his birthday, and I do have a memory of a cake and a video camera and a restaurant and him kind of like using his thumbs to point at himself, yelling "me, me, me" while we were all singing "Happy Birthday." We even had a waitress in on it. I got the footage somewhere, but it's like I have no idea where because this is like 20 years ago, more than 20 years ago, But I've seen the footage show up a few times in the last couple of decades, and so I know it's somewhere. So one of these days when I digitize all these random, remember the little mini DVs that we used to run around with in the cameras? Like when I
yes,
finally go digitize those, like there's so much
I have a funny.
special moments, special life that's outside of those tapes.
When I first met Big Wiz, like he gave me this video camera, and I came to an Atmosphere show, and I was like filming you, and then I lost it, and I just met Wiz, and he just gave me the camera because I was like good at videos, and he didn't care. But that's a funny thing about those cameras. Yeah, I filmed
Yeah.
you, and then I went in a cab and left it in the cab.
Yeah, because they were little. We weren't used to that. We're just like having this.
How many tapes do you
Yeah,
think? How much like footage do you think you have of old stuff like that?
I would take a guess and say maybe like a little under 30 tapes.
Like,
That's my guess when I think about the collection that they're in. Like dude, they're just inside of a plastic Walgreens bag in a closet. You feel
yeah.
me? Like it's like I could do something with them if I just at the right place, right time, remember to grab them and find a place to digitize them. Like I could have had this done already. I'm
Where
just lazy.
where is Dave Wilson at when we need him? Okay, I got a question for you that I wanted to ask you, like, not on the radio or whatever, too, but I was gonna ask you if I could get the picture of you and Puff Daddy. There's a picture of you and Puff Daddy, right? That I saw when I was young, like in a basement. Is it you and Puff Daddy?
I
That
don't think so. I think I would know if I had a picture with Puff
well,
Daddy.
okay, then
Nah,
well then, like,
nah.
could you shed some light? And maybe you don't want to a little bit, but Puff Daddy came to Minneapolis like in some kind of hopes of signing Idea, right?
I don't know that he actually came to the city. I think it was more of a communication thing. Like off of the strength of, I believe it was off of the Blaze battle.
Yeah.
A lot of people started showing interest and checking in. But in hindsight, the thing that doesn't click is that that's just regular life for people to just be like, hey, what is that? What is this? But to us, it was like, yo, Puff Daddy's showing interest. It was huge.
Right, Biggie had
But
just died, and Eminem wasn't out
right,
yet. Like I heard kind of like he was trying to figure out the first white rapper to blow up type of thing, and he was looking at Idea for that, which is a cool thought.
that's an interest. I never seen it like that. I seen it more kind of like. I mean, I wasn't on the phone. I wasn't on the email. So you got to remember, this is all also me just being like excitable as well. I might as well have been a 17-year-old at that moment. You know what I'm saying? And so to me, it was kind of like, yo, he's checking to see what this is. I don't know that it was like, oh, this is something I could work with or anything like that, but more like, yo, you got to stay up on shit, especially back then when you didn't have as much social media or it wasn't
or
so
any.
easy. I presume that if you really are the man, you got to kind of have your finger on all the different pulses. You feel me? And so
Yeah,
it's like, and I think that's probably what it was. You know what I'm saying? Like like I said, I wonder what could have happened. Knowing Eyedea, I don't think he was ever really interested in making
that's what I heard. Yeah,
music that was like that followed the rules. And that's the thing about an artist like Buffy, is that it was like he took the rules and turned them into like big things. You know what I'm saying? But he still played by the rules of like pop music. You feel me? And so it's like he was able to do something that I just don't know. I know that Mikey would have, loved the resources that would come along with something like that, because imagine all the cool stuff you could do with those resources. You feel me? And
yeah.
it's like, other than that, though, he was trying to figure out how to write songs to make you, question and check in on yourself and question the world and things of that nature. And so it's
It
like,
would have been
I
it
think
would
in
have been
his,
too straightforward. It's, something like that.
maybe, yeah, maybe he didn't want to be so straightforward.
I,
I remember one time he said to me, he said he hated a song of mine. It was a song called Sunshine, and he was like, I just hate that song because it's so straightforward. It's so like, but then he was like, but then I realized what the song was actually about. And now I like the song, and that was a big deal to me, because I could see how that song in particular is super straightforward if you're just taking it at face value. You know what I'm saying? But what a big compliment that I could say that the homie gave me. I'll never forget that, man. That really was, especially at that time. That was like 2007, I think. I needed to hear somebody say something like that. It was perfect.
yeah, for sure. All right, here, just maybe before we cut it off or end it, and I want to say thank you for calling in Lake Street Store Radio KRS. I think BK1 founded this. I remember him telling me before this ever happened in a basement that he had plans on trying to start a radio station, which is cool.
Yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, he did it.
So one
Yeah.
time, like, you shedded some light on sampling to me, right? And kids, so a bunch of dudes all the time are like, oh man, sampling, and you can't put it out, you can't get any money, you can't do. I'm like, stop saying what you can't do, and could you just shed a little light on beats with samples in them, and like if there's a young kid out there that's sampling and he's feeling weird about it because people are telling him music business, like what would you say about sampling as a young producer, maybe a little bit?
Here's what I would say about just producing or just making music or making art is make something that feels right to you, that sounds right to you. Now, if you choose to use samples to do that, of course, there's a lot of rules out there about sampling, but at the end of the day, that it's better okay, listen, man, in my opinion, it's better to ask for forgiveness than it is to ask for permission.
Ooh, yes, for sure, definitely. I love
And
that saying.
but now with that said, though, if you're like a young artist that's got a big deal and you're out there and you're about to like really be in front of a lot of people, maybe you have to be a little bit more concerned about that, because who knows, what I'm saying? But the way I see it is like, look, if you get on their radar, that's a good thing. If you make a song that pops big enough to make it so that it gets on the radar and people are like, oh, I want my piece. I mean, that's a good thing. Granted, you might not see it's all the money you would have seen if you hadn't sampled, but still, you got on the radar. You got your voice out there. You're making music that feels good to you, and it's connecting with other people, and it's ruffling feathers, or it's pissing people off, or anything, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah, it
like
makes them feel
I feel like
anything.
I feel like making an impact with your art is one of the most it's just like it's the fireworks of life, bro. It's like being able to just create something out of nothing and make an impact with that is like fireworks, man. There's not a whole lot like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. You really helped me when I was young. Like we had a long conversation about sampling, and it helped me out as a kid. And I'm glad that I stuck with sampling. You know,
Oh, you're really dope at it too, bro. Let me just say, I always, man, your beats are always very interesting to me, and they move me, and they also they hit a certain part of me that needs to be awakened from time to time, more often. You know what I'm saying? So it's like your beats are dope to me because I feel those. I feel what you're doing.
thank you so much. That means a whole lot to me. All right, my man. So what are you up to right now? Like, what do you got going on? Or is there, tell me something good.
I'm literally picking up. Uh, my son and my nephew and giving them a ride home. Like I'm sitting parked outside of a location, and as soon as I get off the phone with you, I'm gonna text them and be like, I'm out here.
Cool,
Come
man.
out to the car.
It's
but other than that, man, Anthony and me, we've been just kind of like, I guess you would say in the lab. You know what I'm saying? Like we've been working on a lot of music, making a lot of art, and just trying to do dope shit with my friends.
I don't know if you want
Fucking
to. I don't know if you want to disclose this, but I guess like there's a mythological thing. Like, what was your graffiti name? I don't know if that's a cool thing to say or not. But like, I know you used to write a little bit, and there's like,
Yeah, I did. I can't imagine that I made enough of a mark to get me in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like I wasn't like out here tearing shit up. It was a different era, and I was a young father, and I just had a set of rules that would just, and I was scared, bro. I was scared of getting in trouble. I was scared of pissing my mom off. I was scared of all kinds of shit back then. So I was out there. I wrote graffiti. I wrote Jest,
yep, that's
Jest.
yep, for sure.
I got some flicks. I took some pictures of some of the things I did, but by no means was I like gunning for anything other than just trying to teach myself how to do it. I knew at a certain point that this wasn't going to be something that I was like I loved it. I loved graffiti. I loved reading it. I loved drawing it. I loved putting it on paper. But what I didn't love was the idea of getting caught, the adrenaline that comes with all of that shit, the running and the ducking and the dodging. I didn't love none of that. And so it slowly was not, it became obvious that it was not going to be a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I'll still draw in people's black books, and I still know how to hold a can of paint. You know what I'm saying? But I still study graffiti. I still look at all of it because I'm still interested in where it's going and what it's doing. And like, since the 80s, I've seen graffiti take like 10 left turns and do lots of really, really dope things that we didn't even consider. Like our imaginations couldn't even comprehend that back in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? Like I follow a lot of graffiti dudes on Instagram just because I'm a groupie. I'm kind of a graffiti groupie.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I love graffiti. I write pow pow. But and like you were friends with Next, right?
I was friends with Next.
Yeah.
I met him because, bro, that's a great story. I probably shouldn't tell that one. But I'm gonna just give some insight. So Next was a waiter in a restaurant in Houston, and he was putting together some money to book a show for kind of like a birthday thing or something, or maybe he was just throwing a show. I can't remember. And he booked us. And back then, we were kind of cheap. We were like, we were trying to get wherever we could. So a show in Houston sounded like a good thing, and he was covering the expenses and throwing a little bit of cake on top. So we went down there and played the show. That's how I met him.
Is that where he was from?
And we got along. He was in Houston, yeah. And we got along. And so then the next time I went to Houston to play a show, I kicked it with him. I seen him, we got along. We stayed in touch. And then at a certain point, he hit me up right around when we was doing God Loves Ugly shit. We going on tour for that in 2002. He hit me up and was like, "Yo, can I come and stay at your spot in Minneapolis?" And I was like, "Yeah, you can come stay here and just hold the place down when I'm gone." You know what I'm saying? And water the plants, feed the cat. And so he came and stayed there for a little while I was on tour. And then I was home with him for a little while, but I was really starting to get in the van as much as possible. So I was in and out a lot. But yeah, he came up to Minneapolis. He came here for a while, painted. He got up, he did some stuff. And then he moved on. Oftentimes do that. They go on to the next city. Figure out the situation. And but we had very loose contact after that for years and years. And then unfortunately, passed away. Rest in peace.
Yeah, for sure. And then I have a question. So when I asked you that back in the day about DJ Next, which is Mahdi, did you have any
Yeah.
experience? Did you ever have any experiences with Mahdi? I'm really good friends with his daughter now. Shout out to Maisha. She's a very good friend of mine, and she was at that show. I don't know if you remember when Brother Ali like said he's like, Mike, why are you dressed like the Alchemist right now at backstage? I don't know if you. He clowned on me so hard, and I was like, oh my god, this is like the 10th time that he like clowned on me. But
I don't remember that. I don't remember that, but that's funny.
and you like you really smoothed it over, and that was at DJ Next tribute show, and Maisha was there in the front row. But is there anything you could shed light on DJ Next from School of Thought?
Yeah, sure. I didn't really get to know him like very closely. You know what I'm saying? He was, but I looked up to him. And I'll say this about him, man, specifically. He always showed me love. You know what I'm saying? Even at times when he didn't have to, or he didn't. There was nothing in it for him to look out. He looked out simply because I was a younger rapper, and also, you know, it's interesting because at the time back then, it was like, you know, oftentimes people, when they first seen me, their first impression of me was they would test me, or I really had to kind of like try to prove myself, and he never made me feel that way. He always was you know, he was a really good leader. He was in that way, you know what I'm saying? He was
Yes.
a good model for all of us, you know what I'm saying? Like, and he was dope. I mean, that first and foremost, but I really wanted to speak to just the humanity that he put inside of hip hop and that he put inside of the scene here. I really appreciated that, you know, and honestly, I'm inspired by that. You know, I know that in my years in history of doing this, you know, just because of some of the I guess you would say the competitiveness, you know, there's people that probably think I'm kind of a hole, you know what I'm saying? But I do think that I've been able to stand the test of times with that and make sure to like really learn how to, like, you know, try to be somebody that tries to set the right example for how to be towards each other. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah. and I think that people like him, and there are others too, who all should get flowers, you know what I'm saying? But there's been a lot of really good influences in this scene, at least for me, man. For me as a youngster looking upward, it was always there. And then now as an older person, I still feel akin to that. I still feel like that's how this is supposed to be. That's how I need to carry myself. That's how you need to carry yourself. You know, we need to like show by example, not just the scene, not just hip hop, but just each other, people, everybody. You feel me? And so it's like, I give him credit for that. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, his crew was dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were definitely one of the ones where it's like they made a splash and they did it on all the levels, like on the MCing, on
right,
the
that's
DJing.
what I heard it. He could rap. He could rap really well too. I heard some of his super old raps. Yeah. I was gonna say two things that I think I was the last kid that he showed love to the same way like that. Like, he took me in when I was young, when he really didn't have to, and I would try to bring him around all my studio sessions, but he really instilled a lot of cool stuff into me right before he passed away. And I want to say that you did as well. You did a great job of like being a big homie to me, and I really appreciate that.
I appreciate you, man. You've always been kind and supportive and very fair with me, and sometimes like so much that like, you know, it embarrasses me almost. You know, you say really nice things. You're really good at telling people. You're really good at handing people their flowers right there in the moment, man. You've always been really good at that. So I appreciate you, man.
Man, we might never get another moment, you know. Type of stuff. All right, cool, man. Thank you so much, Slug. I appreciate this so much.
Right on, man. You guys have a good night. Happy birthday, Eyedea. Thank you for letting me call in. And
what's one of your favorite hip hop songs? I'm gonna play it.
One of my favorite hip hop songs?
Yeah.
Bro, that's like asking me my favorite food, man.
My favorite song of any genre. It's Nas and Lauryn Hill, "If I Ruled the World." Just because, like.
I mean, here's the thing. Every day, once a day, I want to hear "Shook Ones Part 2" by Mahdi.
Okay,
Every
sweet.
day, once a day, and I haven't heard it today. So, boom.
It's on.
All right.
All right. I love you, man. Thank you so much.
All right. Love you back, bro. Thank you.
Peace.
Programming is supported by the Minneapolis Institute of Art, featuring Botticelli and Renaissance Florence, masterworks from the Uffizi, with paintings and other treasures that rarely travel outside Italy. Renaissance Florence was the artistic center of